What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What up to my friends and family? No behind the scenes footage today. Nope. No behind the scenes footage today. Hey, I had a crazy dream last night, but it was like an ongoing dream. I don't know what this means. Y'all tell me what this means. So last night, and I didn't even really sleep that well. Usually I sleep like a baby because I be so tired. But last night, I'm laying in the bed, and for some reason, I just keep waking up and going to sleep, and waking up and going to sleep, and waking up and going to sleep. And I was dreaming about dogs. I was dreaming about dogs. Random as hell, right? But yeah, you need to come on a late night show. I was dreaming about dogs, but I was dreaming about dogs from the frame of people not putting their dogs on a leash. And every dog and everybody that had a dog was in my family. Now, I grew up, this is what makes it weird. It's because I grew up and we didn't believe in dogs. As weird as that sound. We didn't necessarily believe in dogs. And it's not like believing in them like, oh my God, they're an entity. We didn't believe in dogs from the lens of we didn't believe in having a dog. We did not believe in having dogs. Largely because it's like having another child. Too much to take care of. We didn't have a lot of resources growing up like that, even though we had a really good, stable household. And, adding a dog into it mix, specifically a big dog, would make it even worse. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays, I look up and everybody got a dog that's in my family. Both of my brothers got a dog, but they got little baby dogs. They got them little dogs that's probably not this big, and they never really grow to be that big. One of my brothers got two of them. He got twins, you know what I'm saying? So, but everybody in my dream, and most of the people was in my family, and it was like family and friends, and we would meet, and everybody had like 4 massive big dogs, and they wasn't keeping them on a leash. And they kept saying stupid stuff like, he don't bite. They not gonna bite. And then the dogs was over there like, and then I would wake up like, what the hell is going on? Now, I'm not a person that's afraid of dogs. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't know. It was a crazy dream. I would imagine that I didn't get much sleep last night because I kept dodging people's dogs like, hey, man, get your dog on a leash. Get your dog. I don't know. Just a random thought. What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feel? A lot of people say dogs symbolize loyalty. Somebody said dogs from a spiritual perspective or whatever. I'm a dog groomer. Having dogs are expensive. Yeah, it's like having another child, to be honest with you. Anyway, shout out to everybody that tuned in to After Hours last night. It was an absolutely phenomenal show. We got another After Hours tonight. So you always know we do it on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I'm looking to build you know what my goal is? My goal is to build a new media conglomerate. Like, I want to control the media space, but remain completely independent as a result of it. I don't want to, partner with anybody or anything like that. I want to have my whole own media conglomerate, having a whole bunch of different anchors and different people that do different shows and stuff like that. So I don't know. I was just thinking about that this morning. I was thinking about all of the money that we're about to put into this thing that we got going on and building new sets and studios. I think that y'all gonna absolutely love it. I won't even show y'all any of it yet, but all right, y'all ready to get started with the show? That was metaphorical to how we deal with Kamala Harris voters. So we have a full show that's lined up for you guys today. Of course, we're gonna do quick hits. In addition to quick hits, I also want to talk about AOC. I want to go over Reid. I want to go over Chicago and what's happening because they voted down the $300 million property tax hike. Got to talk about migrants, gentrification happening over in New York, people getting robbed in the bank from going to get $50,000. Lots going on. What else are we going to talk about today? FEMA. We're going to talk about FEMA denying people with Trump signs in front of their houses. I want to talk about CNN layoffs. We got to talk about layoffs and the new landscape of media. And so we got a lot to go over today. So make sure you tune in, hit a like for the algorithm on your way in the channel because we appreciate you and that's your reasonable service. That's your price of admission. If you have not already, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I got an exclusive video that's releasing for y'all this weekend. And then we got Block Club coming up next week. So if you have not watched Stock Club or the last Block Club, I would advise that you guys do so because that way you can get caught up and make sure that you're not falling behind. And then we got to go back and redefine things and make sure that you understand the lingo that we're using. And so we don't have any man left behind, but it would make it easier if you guys make sure that you caught up on what we're talking about, all right? ESDC, shout out to my dog ESDC and Mike, that dude holding me down on Cash App. I appreciate you guys. We will continue to process refunds this weekend for anybody that had a coaching call and paid early. And we're discovering what you paid and your method of payment, and we're going to refund you over the weekend. So hopefully we'll be done with that completely over the weekend. I also want to give a shout out to my guy, Mr. Lot, my first super chat of the day. Mr. Lot says, dogs, you've been covering stories about a lot of angry ladies lately. Just saying. Hey, you might be right. You might be 100% right, Mr. Lot. I appreciate you for holding me down, big dog. All right, y'all ready to get started with the show? Again, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. If you've been here more than twice or more than once, by that way, forget twice. If you've been here more than once and if it's your second or more time being here, then consider subscribing because we go live every single morning, Monday through Friday. It's the greatest morning show on earth, and we are going to be expanding the platform. J-Dub says, did you see GM lay off 1,000 employees? I didn't, but we can cover it today. Thank you, J-Dubs. And Steve says that dream about you addressing the ever so beautiful Reid. Oh my God, we're going to have to talk about Reid, Steve. She going to be all over this show because I feel like she needs to be brought to the front of the congregation and we're going to start calling these people out. We're not going to leave no woman, no man left behind when it comes to holding people accountable that consider themselves content creators, all right? So let's get started with the show, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I encourage you guys to tap into Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And we got quick hits, y'all. All right? Quick hits is a segment of the show that we don't necessarily think that we need to bring every single subject to the front of the congregation in its own individual subject, but we definitely want to keep y'all in the loop on what's going on across these streets. All right? First things first, man robbed after cashing a settlement check and then going to buy a truck. Check it out.
A wild burglary and chase in Glendale ends with 2 men in custody and thousands of dollars of cash strewn all over the street.
And it's all caught on camera. Fox 10's Mark Martinez breaks it down.
Glendale police dubbed it the Italian job.
There's money all over the street. We were making a right-hand turn. We see the fighting. Came up to a car accident and then fighting. The guy was, and I was like, you guys need to separate. And he's like, he stole $50,000 from me.
Surveillance cameras captured the moment two suspects swiped $50,000 from a man's car.
And when we got off to get the truck, we had the money in the car. And me, like an idiot, I didn't lock the car. She's like, hey, dude, that car took off with something. He stole something out of your car, he said. And he left.
On November 7th, the victim had just cashed a settlement check from the bank, then drove to a home near 83rd Avenue and Northern to purchase a truck.
So you
42 Bravo.
went to some location to buy a truck, had money in the car, okay, and then what happened?
And then we got off to see the truck with the owner of the truck. He got there.
Which was not him.
Which was not him.
Okay.
And we got in the car and we started chasing this guy. And this dude was hauling until he crashed right here.
The victim and his son jumped back in their car, calling 911 as they chased after the suspects. Real-time crime center traffic cameras captured the suspects crash into another vehicle after running a red light at 67th Avenue and Olive.
And then he got out of the car and ran. I was following him with that bag. And I was running after him. And then, like I said, I lost him from the front of this complex to over here. And then I seen him. He's like, oh, I'll wait for the cops. I'll wait for the cops. I didn't do nothing.
Glendale police arrived and arrested Raymond Pouncey and Reginald Chapman.
Usual suspects, Raymond and Reginald. Now, Reginald was hit. Raymond is still running because his friend is in the car all jacked up. I'm sure that they didn't have a seatbelt on. Maybe Raymond had a seatbelt on. I don't know. But high-speed chase. He goes and cashes a $50,000 settlement check. Now, let's be very, very clear, all right? You don't walk around with $50,000 unless you got security with you. There's no reason, there's very few reasons for somebody to walk around with $50,000, okay? The second thing is, this has to be an inside job. How did they just so happen to know that this guy has $50,000? So either one or two things happened. Either A, he was running his mouth too much, and then word got around, and then when he went and go cash that settlement check, actually one of three things. Or number two, whoever it was that was selling the car to him, he told them that he would be carrying cash, and so they gave him the drop. Or number three, whoever it was that was cashing a check inside of the bank sent word out and said, hey, this guy's walking around with $50,000. It's got to be an inside job. Nobody just runs and steals $50,000. But apparently he got his money back, and now these dudes is probably going to go to jail for the next 20 years as a result of all of this stuff. But somebody somewhere actually told, or somebody somewhere is given an inside job or information. And another thing, why would you purchase a car with $50,000 in cash? The car probably didn't even cost that much. They used to not having money, so they walking around with all of these bags and all of this money, and now they had to go and steal and run for their life because it is what it is. So be very careful out here, y'all. It's some unscrupulous actors, and they're participating in very bad behavior, and it could cost you your life. Thankfully, nobody had a gun, and they wasn't able to get away with it. So money's thrown everywhere. People getting caught up. It's stupid. Next, people in Chicago decided that they wanted to reject the $300 million property tax hike, and the alderman, because people like the women that are coming on my show, said, hey, we're going to hold these people accountable and we're going to get them up out of here if they can continue to do what they're doing. Check it out.
Developing tonight, a $300 million hole in Mayor Brandon Johnson's budget proposal after a unanimous vote by the city council today.
How to close it or fill it is what he and the council will work on next. WGN's Dana Rebick joins us live tonight from City Hall. Dana.
Well, this was a very clear message sent from alders when this vote took place, a historic vote that many alders say they have never seen before. There was no debate on the council floor, just this unanimous call to reject it.
There are 0 nays, 50 nays. This matter has been voted down.
I see people say, oh, he had $50,000 because he was going to buy a truck. You should never have to carry cash. You can get a cashier's check. If you are buying it from a dealer, usually you can finance it and then you can pay it off within the first 1 or 2 payments. That way you don't have to pay any interest on it. You never have to carry that type of money. The only time that you have to carry that type of money is either you showing off or you are going to the casino. And even when you go into the casino, if you were going to one that you're familiar with, and they'll give you a line of credit. Because they've already vetted you, they've already checked your bank account, and so you can just, hey, listen, give me 50, give me $100,000 or whatever, and then they'll, over time or whatever, after a month or two, then you just pay it back and all of that other type of stuff. So if you got that type of money to gamble with, then you got a line anyway. So there's really no point in this earth. Even when I buy my cars, I'll go finance it or I'll wire it, and then we'll pay it off after the first payment. And that's the end of it. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason for y'all to be walking around. I can't think of any logical reason for somebody to be walking around with $50,000 at all.
A stunning shutout of Mayor Brandon Johnson's property tax increase proposal.
This is a healthy process. This is something that my administration can handle. I'm not intimidated by voices from individuals who are city leaders in their own respect.
It's a devastating loss for Mayor Johnson. I've been here, going on 17 years. I've never seen this kind of vote take place. And I think in many of our lifetimes, we've never seen this.
I won't characterize what anyone does as a mistake. It's a representation of what the executive branch believes is best for the city of Chicago.
The $300 million 4% property tax increase would have helped fill a nearly $1 billion gap in the mayor's $17.3 billion budget for next year. Mayor Johnson has said the increase was necessary to avoid layoffs, program cuts, and furloughs. Now it's back to the drawing board with the clock ticking to pass a budget before the end of the year.
This budget was presented late. All we get is kind of a big book of line items. We have an Office of Financial Analysis that has 2 people.
For the most part, there was no collaboration on his part, and we got to this point because of that lack of collaboration. So, again, in all my years I've worked, this is the 4th mayor. This is the first time I've seen that lack of collaboration, and this is why you get a 50-0 vote.
I am collaborating with people.
Right after the alderman said, hey, man, we work with 4 mayors. We've never, ever seen anybody that operate like this before in our lives. We don't know where the collaboration is because he's not actually working with us to understand and make sure that we can pass a budget. But he presented this to us at the last minute, hoping that we could just get it through. And then right after that, Mayor Johnson says, we are collaborating with people. He looked like a fool to me. He looked like a straight up fool.
We're going to talk to every single alder because it's going to take all of us.
This past weekend, nearly half the council met with the mayor's budget team to negotiate. As far as other revenue options, we're told those could include raising the garbage collection fee, the amusement tax, and increasing taxes on cigarettes, parking, and liquor. Also on the table, using remaining federal COVID relief funds or a potential lower
using COVID funds to plug the budget deficit.
Property tax increase.
Whether it's a property tax or any other tax, people will be impacted.
Chicago is in shambles, y'all, and y'all got people that don't know what they're doing that's continuing to run the city, but I guarantee you I'm going to stay on top of it. And then last but not least, Hollywood former star Eva Longoria is saying that she's completely left the United States of America as a result of Trump's win. Check it out.
Now, very quickly, there were a flurry of celebrities promising to leave the US if Trump was voted back in. And while many have walked that back, some have made good on the promise. And one of those is actress Eva Longoria, who's left LA to split her time between Mexico and Spain. Kosha, do you think we're going to see more of these evacuations, or was this just talk for most of them?
I think it's talk. I've been hearing it for years and years in the Bush era and the Romney and McCain and everybody, even people far more muted than Trump. They always say that, but then, their mansions in Malibu seem to always call for them and they don't follow through. Eva Longoria, I guess, is a little bit of an exception here and, good for her. She's somebody who has that privilege that she can have properties and, set up a life in different countries at the snap of her fingers. Most people aren't so lucky.
The word on the street is that she was already living in Mexico because it's a cheaper form of living, and that she had already left. But my thing is, I'm cool with people leaving. Like, don't do us no favors. The thing that I'm always asking myself is, why are y'all announcing it and why are you not just doing it? Why are you announcing it and why are you not just doing it? Thank God. Go back to your country. Go back to your country. I see all of these black people on a regular basis always complaining about Trump. Oh my God, I can't take the United States of America. We need to leave this country. Africa is wide open. Mexico, Africa. You can go to Haiti, Cuba. I don't know if you can get in Cuba, but you can go to Cuba. Venezuela is accepting new applications for people to come there. Guatemala, you can go there. I'm trying to figure out what's slowing people from leaving the United States of America. I'm going to have to address that in a completely different video. What is slowing y'all down? For all of the people that's complaining on the internet, all right? For all of the people that's complaining on the internet, what's preventing you from getting there? What's slowing y'all down from getting the hell out of here? Why haven't you? I heard that Johannesburg is a very, very beautiful country. You might have to build high walls. But I'm trying to figure out Ghana. Ghana is dope. I heard the Dominican Republic. I'm going to have that conversation tonight. We're going to talk about it on After Hours. I'm curious as to what y'all think. Because I'd like to know, what is slowing people down? Are they not accepting different types of passports or what? And why, when people say that they want to leave, why don't they just leave? Like, why do they announce it? Why they just don't be vamoosh, disappear, get the hell out of here? You like other countries, see if they'll take you in, see what type of visa you're going to get into. I see all of this stuff. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. What's going on? Why you ain't doing it yet? I think that all black people that feel as though this country is racist, I think that they need to go and experience other countries, including moving to where you're more accepted. You know, I hear a thing where people always say, I want to go where people that look like me, I don't feel like I got no representation. Go over there and see what happened. You know what they're going to call you? They're gonna call you an American booty scratcher. They're gonna be playing the African version of Not Like Us. They're not like us. They're not like us. They not messing with you. Go on over there and see what happened. Go over there. And don't come back. Don't come back talking about give us free. Give us. Oh no, I just came back because I miss my family. No, make a new family. We cool. And I think that you'll thrive. And I hope that you thrive. And I hope that you're happy. And I hope that you find yourself and you find your tribe and you retrace your steps where your people sold you over to the Europeans. And then you had to go through the transatlantic slave trade. You know, go and ask the people that sold you over here to the United States of America for reparations too. Make sure that they pay reparations for selling your black ass. All right? So that's all I'm saying. That's all I want to say. No big deal. We all on the same page. Everybody is cool. Make sure, listen, all I'm saying is make sure that when you go over to the country that you're originally from, that you ask them for reparations for selling your black ass over here or selling your mama's over here in order to profit because they kicked y'all butts and they didn't want to fight y'all no more and they decided to be capitalists instead of just eliminating your whole tribe altogether. That's your body, your right. Your body, your right. Go find your tribe. Give us free. Oh, they don't like that part. I can't believe Anton is saying what he's saying. I don't care. I'm not Joy Reid. I say what I want to say when I want to say it. I don't care nothing about that. I'll rock with people based off their character. I don't care nothing about color. I don't care about none of that. Date who you want. Rock with who you want. Roll with the people that actually add value into your life. Go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. I only shop at black businesses. Okay. Right. You got it. Anyways, let me read some of these super chats. ABO calls her Joyless Reid. I love ABO. That's my guy. Atlanta Jets fan says, true or false? If Kamala had won, China would have invaded Taiwan. I'm going to say true. I'm going to say true. I turn 27 next month, and ever since I joined the Bag Chasers, I've learned so much, and I appreciate you for being a leader and a mentor. Shout out to the new Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Bugs Doe Production says, peace and blessings, Anton. I sent my resume to your email. Somebody said they would pass it to you. Not sure if you've seen it. Please consider checking it out. I'm going over all resumes. First, I need to have a come to Jesus moment to make sure that I'm not still in my feelings. Then I need to figure out whether or not I still want to hire for the position. And if I do, I'm going to be going over all resumes. And I'm going to do that this weekend because I don't have to travel anywhere this weekend. So thank you, Bugs Doe Productions. I appreciate you. Bobby Michael says, regarding your dream, pray on it and ask God to reveal more to you because I don't believe it's a good dreams at all. God is trying to warn you about something going on in your family, maybe jealousy or envy. Be careful, bro. I like that. Thank you for warning me. I'll take all advice. Juan, last night I was telling people that somebody had spelled their name Jorge. I said, I was calling him George. They said, no, Anton, that's Jorge. Man, I'm calling you George. Juan Gonzalez says, good morning, Pastor. My coworker asked me to write a letter from Camp's parole program so he can get his family in here before next year. He's a great worker, but AD. So I'd like your honest opinion. I think he should go in through the legal way just like everybody else. Shout out to you, the great workers. I think that everybody is a great worker, but they need to come in legally. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Write a letter. Sean said it should be record numbers of people seeking asylum in other countries as we speak. They all talk and broke. I agree. And they got debt. And I want y'all to pay y'all debt before y'all leave too. When will you have one-on-one with Vince Everett Ellison? It would be phenomenal. I don't know who Vince Everett Ellison is, but you can send me his content. Email me, or y'all can always go to my website, AntonDaniels.com, and send that to me. Thank you for the insight. Anton going to Africa next? Nope. You know, I have no desire personally. And it doesn't mean that I won't one day get over there. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. I have no desire to ever visit Africa. I heard that there are so many different places and it's beautiful and Africa is huge and all of this stuff. And maybe I'll be over there in the bush with Umar Johnson one day. Who knows? But there are so many other places that I want to visit first. I want to visit Jerusalem. I want to visit Spain. I want to visit Rome. I want to go to Paris. I want to go to Singapore. You know, I want to go and visit Australia. I want to go to Alaska. I have never been to Hawaii. It's places in the United States of America. North Carolina, South Carolina, Raleigh. I want to go to Raleigh. I want to go and visit Raleigh. I've never been to Phoenix. So it's some places I want to visit in my own country and abroad before I ever make it over to Africa. So maybe I'll make it over there, maybe I don't. Maybe I'll be called an American booty scratcher, who knows. But it's just not on my list of places to go to, you know, for whatever reason. Yeah, God is trying to warn about all that Trump derangement syndrome in your family. Maybe. You know what? Maybe. I wouldn't doubt that. I think that that might be a thing. In the meantime, we got derangement right over on MSNBC. You know what I'm saying? So, well, before we get to MSNBC, let's talk about CNN, right? So let's spend 10, 15 minutes talking about CNN. So the news that has not been being covered extensively across the internet for some reason is that CNN is now having layoffs. And they are asking for their people to take pay cuts. They said that people is overpaid over there. Elections ratings was incredibly low. Their coverage of Trump was absolutely biased, and the people is not rocking with them anymore. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it.
Let's go to some good news. As a result of the US election, CNN have started laying off staff, and MSNBC have lost a huge chunk of their audience. CNN, back in 2016, their election coverage had 13.3 million viewers, but at the most recent election, just a week ago, they went from 13.
V12 Media said it's okay. You're limited minded to Euro destinations. Well, I like Europe, and I like Asian countries too, and I am limited minded because that's what my preference is, and those are the cultures that I think that I really want to explore because I like Europe and I like Asia. Have y'all ever watched that Owen Wilson movie where he was in Paris and stuff like that? It was called Last Visit to Paris or something like that, where he was dreaming. I love that movie. He was dreaming and he was like this poet writer. and he was going to visit Paris and stuff. I want to see the stuff that I like to look at in the movies, now that I have the resources to do so.
3 million viewers in 2016 to just 5 million viewers. Oof. Fox News, by comparison, had twice that many people tuning
look at Joy Reid. We're going to get to her in a second.
In to their election coverage. It seems like people didn't want to watch an election coverage from people who'd spent 4 years lying to them. In fact, I suspect about half of the audience that did tune into CNN were people like me who just wanted to see how they were doing because we were concerned about their mental health as results started to come in. MSNBC primetime viewership has decreased by 54% in the days after the election, while Fox viewership for the same primetime slot has gone up 61%. Again, I can't imagine why people don't want to tune into MSNBC.
That's the name of the movie. Midnight in Paris is a good movie to watch with your girl. Y'all might, get a little something with it, But Midnight in Paris is one of my favorite movies. I love Midnight in Paris.
NBC right now. I mean, who doesn't want to turn on the television and hear that you're racist and misogynist and watch TV hosts crying? So this is more good news from the election. The progressive left media have absolutely shot themselves in the foot with their lies, with their carry-on. And I had to laugh today with CNN. They published this article on their website. It was headed, Trump's win, I like this, Trump's win was real, but not a landslide. I like the fact that I have to put in, it was actually real, it was real, but not a landslide. I mean, it was the biggest electoral college win by a Republican in 36 years, the biggest popular vote by a Republican ever. Yeah. He won the House, he won the Senate, he won every swing state, and CNN said, but it wasn't a landslide. They're trying to convince us that their predictions...
Well, actually, if you look at Grover Cleveland's second presidency in the 19th century, you can see that, in fact, he outperformed on all the...
Right.
But so there's a couple of reasons. One is obviously that these two networks were just bullshitting people and just telling them that black was white and telling them that Kamala was going to win. And of course, once you have all these experts who are telling you that they're smarter than you, and I think one of MSNBC's slogans is actually, we're going to make you smarter if you watch us, that they're actually feeding you the exact opposite of what is true. Obviously, you have a huge amount of people who, even if they may be sympathetic to that side of politics, are just going to switch off because they think, well, you led me up the garden path. I was telling my friends, I was telling my friends at the barbecue or the dinner party all the stuff you were saying, trying to be smart because you were meant to make me smarter and you made me look like an idiot. And then the other thing is, of course, after the result, you have articles like this and you have the most ridiculous pontificating crap that they had out there. This is going to be a tough day for all those, people of color and women and children and little furry cats.
My life never changed. Not one bit since election night. Since election night, my life never changed. I'm still working. Everybody had to get up and go to work in the morning. They just had their election results earlier. And what CNN did was absolutely dumb. CNN says that they are an objective news media outlet, but I've seen nothing of the sort. I think that they are ran from a business perspective. I think all of these media companies are ran from a business perspective stupid. And you're going to have people from outside come in with different ideas, not come into those organizations, but possibly create their own that then upends the media. I believe that media as we know it today is going to be forever changed. This is The Hill talking specifically about Chris Wallace's exit from CNN, and now that they're unraveling over there and now that they have layoffs.
And now some media news. Veteran broadcaster Chris Wallace is leaving CNN after just 3 years there. This announcement comes as his CNN weekend program, The Chris Wallace Show, averaged below 600,000 total viewers during the election year.
CNN CEO Mark Thompson called Wallace one of the most respected political journalists in the business.
Somebody said, Anton, your life did change, you get richer. Yeah, my portfolio exploded a lot more. But as far as my day-to-day, when I say my life never changed, I'm talking about everybody saying, oh my God, you're going to get arrested. Your civil liberties are going to be gone. Everybody is going to have, they putting you back on a plantation. This is what a plantation feels like. I take this all day, every day.
Wallace jumped over to the network after leaving Fox News, where he anchored for 18 years. Per Fox News Digital, Wallace did not accept CNN's offer to extend his contract. And according to the Daily Beast, which first reported the story, the 77-year-old plans to remain in the business, but he's going independent, the independent podcast route.
Well,
Hey, do y'all remember a time where they said that podcasters or independent people or YouTubers was not to be respected? I remember over the last 10 years, because I've been on YouTube for probably about 10 years now, right? I remember not this channel, because this channel is relatively new compared to how long I've been on YouTube. This channel has been in existence for about, I think, 3 or 4 years. Well, this is season 4, so this will be the 4th year that has been in existence. Well, 3.5 years. This will be in the 3.5 year mark that I've had this channel. And I remember when everybody was trying to talk bad about us, and they was like, oh no, you just a YouTuber, content creator, or whatever. Now all of them is going the independent route. Anybody heard from Skip Bayless? Y'all know how Skip Bayless is doing over there? Now all of the basketball players want to have a second life as a podcaster. Now all of the media outlets, Don Lemon is, oh, I'm an independent journalist now. No, that means that you're broke and you're no longer making the type of money that you wanted to make. And I hope you got your money invested because you don't understand the social media landscape. And you got to figure it out like the rest of us. And so now we're the experts. They trying to come into our space and participate in the same way that they was. I was listening to, remember that it's a podcast from the two girls, the two sportscasters. And it's called Too Personal, TWO Personal, Too Personal. That junk is doing horrible. And listen, I admire them for continuing to put out episodes, even though it's bad. You can't get a whole bunch of celebrities and think that that's going to get you popping and all of that. Now, I'm an independent. Man, get the hell out of here, bro.
Well. This is interesting. So Chris Wallace left Fox News several years ago, joined CNN. He'd had some friction with Tucker Carlson, with the direction of the network. He was someone who was always pretty, I would say, centrist, or even, I think, by the end, a little bit more combative with the Republican Party than he even was with the Democratic Party. He made himself no fans and allies among conservative viewers at Fox. And so CNN seemed a more natural home for him, although there are fewer viewers there overall. So he was not happy with the success. Obviously, the digital platform he was briefly involved with was a huge debacle, disaster. I know people who worked there and left that thing thinking, oh my God, what a mess was that.
Yeah. Horrible rollout.
So yeah, it didn't quite work out for him there.
Everybody think that they could just pick up a microphone and start talking, and all of a sudden everybody's going to hear what you got to say. Nope. It's way more. Taylor Rooks, that's it. Taylor Rook and the other one, the light-skinned one. And they said, oh, we're pretty, and they got big tits, and so everybody's going to want to hear them talk. Now you see that your value is the fact that ESPN and Fox Sports is the one that's really getting y'all visibility, and the fact that y'all might have big tits, but it don't have nothing to do with your commentary about your life. Nobody cares. Nobody is checking for you. Nobody trying to figure out, hey, what is Taylor Rooks and all of them going to do next? Nobody is over there trying to figure, hey, who went and searched for Don Lemon's podcast? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Some people have it, some people don't. Joy Taylor and Taylor Rooks, that's what it is. And it's no shot at them, but they horrible content creators. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And so many people think that, you could just pick up a microphone and start talking. Nope. It's work. 80% of the work don't even have nothing to do with even being on the microphone or even talking at all. 100% of it, most of it is you grinding, you hustling, you're producing, you're working, you got to deal with payroll, you got to deal with all of these different things, and people think that it's easy, and it's not. And so these people need to just go away. Go away. It's content creators that can't even create. It's independent content creators that ain't even a part of the media that been on YouTube. They can't get past 7,900, not even 7,900. 900 subscribers. I see people. I seen some of my old foes and my old enemies. They went live and they had 17 people in their chat. I said, ooh, not 17. It's time to go back and get a job, dog. Yeah, I just want to keep going. I don't want to work for myself. No, this might not be for you. Sometimes we all got to figure out where our niche is. And everybody don't have it. Everybody can't produce a show. Your graphics is bad. Your commentary is bad. You keep saying the same thing over and over again. You're talking about the same stuff. I see people that keep, they talking about relationships, but they have no substance. They saying the same thing over and over again. They lose 13 new viewers every single time. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Some people are incredible. Some people know what they're doing. Some people have, that vision and then they can execute and stuff like that. And other people need to just go ahead and sit down and play their role. It's not for everybody. So shout out to CNN and shout out to all of the people that's getting laid off. You're going to have to go and get a regular job, baby girl. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats and we're going to get into Joy Reid. Bye. Get the heck out. We don't care. Go on back to the countries that y'all want to go to. Barbecue shooting at jets. No flights into Haiti per the FF. It's crazy over there. Go on over there and hang out with them and see what oh no, this is my boring country. Go on over there and see what happened. Joining the Bag Chasers today. Looking forward to meeting you in person soon, sir. Make sure y'all get y'all tickets December 14th to come and kick it with me in person. I love to kick it with y'all. Wyatt B says 80 will know you love being around beautiful women. That's a fact. That's a fact. I need your honest answer. Okay. All right. Do men get the same opportunities to get hired by you? What kind of questions is that? So are y'all saying, wait. The ladies used to say that you must hate women. And now the guys are saying, wait a minute, Anton, do men get the same opportunities as you? Because you got majority women on your staff. It's not that I love the ladies. That has nothing to do with the business side of it. I have unique roles that I believe that ladies thrive more in. It's just the facts. It's just the facts, all right? And I tend to find in my experience that women, at least for me, and I don't know what y'all experience is, but women, at least, women tend to work harder and more consistent, and they almost are like lifetime partners in my businesses. They work their butts off. Guys, a lot of times you got to chase them down. Hey, man, where'd you do? Oh, dog, I was partying. You know how it is. Nah, nigga, I don't know how it is. What you doing? We got this work to get done. The women, they be in the bed early. They be up before you. They be checking stuff, making sure they be having multiple. They over-deliver. And so I have a preference. I have a preference for certain positions. Now, when it comes to engineering, all of my developers are men. All of the people that work on the development side. So I would actually say, if you take in independent contractors, everybody that works on the development side are men. I think that all of the men that have ever worked in software engineering and on the development side, and even in corporate America, I tend to lean towards men because men are great. Them women software engineers, they be extra. They need extra boost. You always got to stroke their ego. And they do not be as smart as the men. I hate to say it. I'm going to just be honest to you. The women that are software engineers that I have worked with versus the men software engineers that I work with, whether it's in corporate America or working for me in particular, they are not the same. The men run laps around. The men take care of business. They on top of it. It seems like they smarter. The women be like, they be like dingbats. And I'll be like, man, how did you even get through school? I'm so confused. The men from the software engineering side, they get better opportunities. Now, I want the best person for the job. I'm just telling you what my experience is. Women tend to thrive better in sales. They tend to thrive better when it comes to anything relationship-wise, as far as like building relationships, networking, working with people. The men that I have worked with operate better in a silo. So when it comes to relational things, women have thrived in my environment better when it comes to things where you have to go off and do your own thing on and just deliver the results. The men are the ones that thrive. When it comes to independent contracting, building houses, it's all men. Even the women that I've hired, I got a cleaning service that come in and clean up after everybody. They so extra. They call, the women call, oh my God, my grandma, can I get an advance? Get an advance. In the restaurant industry, the women thrived. The men was always in the bathroom sleeping. Men was in the back stealing chicken wings, always hungry, eating everything. The women, the customers loved them. They was there early. They may have had baby daddy issues, but as long as you got them right there, they would thrive. And so I am not a person that believes that everything is equal across the board. I believe that certain people thrive in certain roles, and then occasionally you're going to get the anomaly that can thrive in both, or women that can do what men do, or men that can do what women do, or whatever. But that's why I understand it from a gender perspective. When I speak on relationships and things like that, it just is what it is. Like, women thrive in certain environments and men thrive in certain environments, and they tend to be a lot better in certain roles and positions, and it is what it is. It just is what it is. When it comes to project management, people that tend to be gay and sassy, they good as hell at their job. I don't know what it is. Girls that look like boys, boys that look like girls, but I'm just telling you that people that don't identify with whatever it is that they was born as, they can project manage the hell out of something. Some of the best people that I've ever worked with in my entire life are sassy from a project management perspective. And I was like, hey, I don't discriminate. I want that person on my team. I don't know if that's Jane or John, but whatever they are, get them on my team. I want them as my project manager. I don't want this other person. I don't care what they're doing in their bedroom, because I'm not about to take you out to dinner. But when it comes to this project, I want that person that don't know whether or not they want to be a top or bottom on my team. That's how I rock. And so, again, I don't give a F about all of that stuff. I understand gender roles. I understand gender perspective, gender specifics. And I just tend to think that the best person for the job tend to, fill certain roles. So the things that y'all may see that may be a little bit more visible, the women will probably be the ones that get those jobs. And so you'll see women from a content creation perspective, they tend to be a lot more on top of it. They dedicated. They don't procrastinate. They very good when it comes to putting together my schedule. They on top of projects. They work well with, develop, all of that type of stuff. Everything visible, women do better. Things that tend to operate in a silo, men generally whoop the hell out of women in. So that's kind of how I see it. That's how it is. It just is what it is. So I gave y'all the long answer, whatever your name is, and I gave y'all the short answer. If I'm wrong, y'all tell me. But listen, that's just the way that it is. Shout out to Wyatt. That's a great question. Daddy Day Trip says, travel and see this big blue place is beautiful. Are you talking about in Africa? Joy Reid is the epitome of an angry black woman. We're going to get to Joy Reid right now. Diamato Cooper says it's ironic that Joy rails against white women and racist remarks as though it isn't racist because a black woman is saying it. She wears blonde hair and the hypocrisy is laughable. That's a fact, though. Let me give you an applause for that. Pepper Ridge Farms. Shout out to Pepper Ridge Farms. I like fried rice, G. DJ Ace Production says, I woke up and put my pants on one leg at a time like I did the other day before. Life is good. Talk about it. And we in the United States of the Americas. Ash, my dog, always been holding me down. AD, you're in great company. I love visiting European and Asian countries. Lots of world history, culture, and art. Plus, the women, single men, are more feminine, fit, and friendly. The food is natural and fresh. Rome is my go-to city outside of the United States of America. I can't wait to get there. I'm on it. Good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels. Good morning, P. Shank. HB says, hey, Anton, can you bring in Charlie Kirk on the panels with Q? It'd be interesting to see the liberals react. Charlie Kirk is busy right now. LL Cool AD, I like that. No, it's LL Cool A, not LL Cool J, LL Cool A. Shout out to Vernon Brown. Lucid Experience then says, a lot of people have no clue what it takes to even have a decent podcast. Heck, let alone get a fraction of the traction. Hashtag a forever grind. Devastator says, not in the back room stealing chicken wings, eating and stealing it at the same time. They're going to be eating the chicken wings that come out the oven. And they're going to be taking whole boxes out the back. I told y'all about that. Sean says, damn, guess I'm rethinking project management certs now. Nah, keep doing what you're doing. Platon says, I got you back with the super sticker. Thank you. I appreciate you, my friend. Shadow Dragon TV says, a weekend to be in a bag chaser and a wealth of knowledge is irreplaceable. Appreciate the unspoken birthday gift, big dog. Y'all join the Patreon. Tap into the Patreon. Get your tickets to come and kick it with me in person. Joy Reid looks like Wesley Snipes' character, Simon Phoenix. Well, let's talk about Joy Reid. We don't want to throw ad hominem attacks. We just want to have the conversation, all right? Joy. Sunshine and rain. Joy Reid. Joy Reid. I've been meaning to get to Joy Reid, but there's been so many things that's been happening. Trump cabinet picks and AOC, which she joined Joy Reid's program, so we're going to go into that next. We're not going to be done with her. Joy Reid. You ain't no killer, J. Reid. You ain't no cop, J. Reid. Where I get that from? Y'all ever seen that? You ain't no cop, J. Reid. That was LL Cool J and In Too Deep. I'm a movie guy, all right? So J. Reid always and have forever been saying some of the wildest things on the internet. This is her holding accountable people of color, including Latino voters, after Trump won the election. Check it out.
And good evening, everyone. This is our first chance to be together one-on-one since the election. So I wanted to begin tonight with an acknowledgement of our new reality. Millions of Americans woke up Tuesday morning full of hope and joy, anticipating the election, finally, of America's first woman president. They put their faith in Vice President Kamala Harris to deliver not just the star-studded joy and the power of the culture from Beyonce to Taylor to basically every star in Hollywood, plus the many memes and incredible digital content, but also the change that could make this multicultural democracy real and accessible and affordable to everyone. I mean, money for elder care and small businesses and child tax credits, what?
Does Joy even look believable to you guys? She started off this monologue talking about celebrities. Talk about being so disconnected from what people are really dealing with in their everyday lives. Do we care about Beyonce and Taylor Swift? And now that we know, I heard that Al Sharpton got $500,000. I meant to bring him to the front of the congregation. I'm going to talk about him. I'm going to talk about Al Sharpton on the Anton Daniels channel. And we might even discuss this on After Hours tonight. These people got paid to be friends. Kamala Harris was buying friendships. And the memes and the TikToks and the Taylor Reids and the Taylor Swifts and the Beyoncés and the Kelly Rowlands, they so far removed from the fact that people can't even pay their bills and they getting their cars repossessed, bro.
But that is obviously not what happened. Instead, knowing all that we know about Donald Trump, his vulgarity and venality, his 34 felony counts and adjudicated sexual abuse of E. Jean Carroll, and so many other women he preyed on, his buddy-buddy relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, his theft of classified documents, his fealty to Vladimir Putin, and that attempted coup. Despite all of that, a majority of American voters actively chose him over her. Women all over this country know what it feels like to be the far more qualified woman who loses the job to mediocre or underqualified men. Black women.
Now think about this for a second, guys. It always comes down to misogyny. Black women all over the country know what it means to actually lose the job to underqualified men. This is the type of thing that won't get you hired. This is the type of rhetoric that won't get you hired.
Doubly so. And people are rightfully depressed and scared. The Republican Party has made it clear they're not mad at the whole Nazi thing. They actually find some of the ideas, mass deportation, internment camps, white Christian nationalism, to be kind of okay. And autocracy definitely feels imminent. This era is especially frightening if you're a woman or black or gay or bi or trans or in an immigrant or in a mixed status family. And that danger is not in your head. And even in a normal time, when an election goes sideways, it is tempting to feel kind of dumb for having ever believed that the change you dreamed of was possible at all. I mean, who were we to believe that America would ever elect a woman, let alone a black and Asian woman as its president? I mean, sure, Mexico just did it, but not us. We're America. We don't do these things. But it is not crazy or dumb to believe in the possibilities of America. Millions of people all around the world do too. My parents did. That's why they, like so many immigrants, including Kamala Harris's parents, came here to.
Joy Reid's parents is not even from America. Joy Reid's parents are not even from America. Now, that's not a bad thing, but I would like to know if they even came here legally. I would love to know. Just in the sake of transparency. You know, we was having a conversation on After Hours yesterday. And in that conversation, we were qualifying whether or not Quentin was actually right about something that we had talked about previously. And we started to deep dive into a conversation about transparency. And, you know, I said that it's a difficult thing to master, but it's something that's absolutely needed. It's a difficult thing to master, but it's something that's absolutely needed. Well, why? Because transparency absolutely validates whether the person that's given the information is qualified. Not whether the information is right, but if it's qualified, that they qualify to even be talking to you in the same room. And so it's funny because I see so many people having rhetoric and narratives, and they got an opinion and they telling other people what to do. But I always wonder, hey, who are you and do you qualify? And so somebody in the chat, they said, Anton, you know, you like to show off and stuff. And I said, no, I like to show out. And it's a difference because, see, if I didn't show my numbers and if I didn't show my bank account and if you didn't know my wife and you didn't know that I was a family man and if you didn't know that I didn't have children out of wedlock, then 90% of the things that I would say would be invalid because how can I be running a show that says the Millionaire Morning Show if I'm not a millionaire? How can I be giving you advice on how to be successfully married if I've never been married? How can I tell you how to be a strong person that raises a strong family unit if I don't have a daughter that I take care of, that I'm the reflection of the man that I would want her to marry? How can I give you advice on how you could be successful if I am not respectively successful? Would you want a content creator that is no good at content, teaching you how to create content? Absolutely not. And so I would love to vet these people that talk like this and have so much disrespect for the American culture when your parents came over here, and I'm trying to figure out, and there's nothing wrong with coming over here because I absolutely believe in legal migration, but I'm always wondering, was your parents even here legally? I'm just asking a question because she volunteered the information.
To this crazy platypus of a country cobbled together by people from everywhere and with its tortured history, but also so much potential. It is not crazy to believe. It's not crazy to dream. In fact, it's kind of sad not to. And Kamala Harris lived up to our dreams. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. She ran a remarkable 107-day emergency campaign full of joy and hope. She and Tim Walz raised $1 billion in a couple of months, and she whipped Trump in their one and only debate. And yesterday, at her alma mater, Howard University, Kamala Harris, first of her name, did something Donald Trump would never do. She conceded graciously and vowed to conduct a peaceful transfer of power.
And Joe did that.
Now I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
Imagine that. She also spoke directly to young Americans who chose her at a rate of 54 to 43% over Donald Trump for 18 to 29-year-olds and 49 to 48% for voters 30 to 44, according to the NBC exit polls. And particularly millennial and Gen Z women, who went 61-37 in her favor for 18 to 29-year-olds and 54-43 from age 30 to 44. Millions of college students, recent graduates, and young Americans who put their faith in her.
Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You have power. You have power.
And make no mistake, fam, it is young Americans, not those of us in Gen X or boomers or retired silent generation folks who are the economically insecure. Young Americans are the ones who can't afford to buy a home or start a business or a family. They are the ones who have economic anxiety, not the people of my generation, Gen X, many of whom have savings in the bank and bitch about the economy while planning overseas vacations. Yet it was the hip-hop and Hulk Hogan generation, the F your feelings latchkey kids who came up on Dynasty, Dallas, and The Apprentice, who were the lone age group that voted in a majority for Trump. A majority of Gen X voted to turn America into an autocracy and to condemn our kids and grandkids to a far-right Supreme Court, probably for the rest of their lives. And it was not just Gen X, because while 91% of black women voted for Kamala Harris, 53% of white women overall voted for Trump.
Let me give him a round of applause. The Trump, let me get a women that held it down, a round of applause. Let me see, this says white, Trump, Latino. I don't understand the Trump part. Says, should that say black? Somebody actually did this wrong. Now, I'm not the sharpest knife in the tool shed, but somebody actually did this wrong. Trump is on their mind so much that they don't even know how to write this. This is supposed to be black. 91% of women voted for Trump. Of black women voted for Harris, I mean. So this middle part is supposed to be, yes, this is a typo. Come on, MSNBC. Y'all can't get this together? Y'all producers is that off? That's why a lot of these producers is getting fired. This is supposed to say black. This is not supposed to say Trump. All right, so now let's look at it. Harris got 53% or 45% of the white vote, 91% of the black vote, and 60% of the Latino vote. Yes, they did put it on air, Doug. This is so dumb. So now you see that women was trying to drag us back in, or drag us into the dark ages. All right?
Despite the open disrespect and demonization hurled by J.D. Vance and the Supreme Court stripping.
Black women, y'all really voted at a 91% clip for Kamala Harris? Ugh. Y'all want me to go visit Africa? Nope. 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 If this is the representation of what the culture is supposed to be, then I don't want any parts of it. I only want to rock with the people that align with my values. If 91% of black women voted for Kamala Harris, if we had left it up to y'all, we would straight up be oppressed for the next 4 years. This is insane. White women, y'all almost need to be held accountable. Latino women, that's because y'all think that y'all black.
Women's bodily autonomy, courtesy of Donald Trump, who closed his repulsive campaign by dropping the B word on Nancy Pelosi. The breakdown by education was stark. Harris won 57% of white women with college degrees and lost 63% of white women without them. It was also men. Trump won every age group of men, including 60% of Gen X men and 6 in 10 white men.
What did I say was going to happen? What did I say was going to happen? Who did I say was going to carry this election? White men. Who did I say was going to carry this election? White men and white people. I said it. I said that y'all focusing too much. The Democrats was focusing too much on diversity, equity, and inclusion. They was focused too much on trying to legalize weed for black men on the federal level. They were focused too much on the AKAs and the Divine Nine. It was focused too much on them. The reality is that you didn't speak to the demographic that actually mattered. When I seen Trump come here for the first time, I actually seen it while I was living downtown. And they had a rally at former Cobo, which is now Huntington Place. And I seen the people that were going to the rally and what they were dressed like, and they all had on blazers and slacks, and they had on their red hats to make America great again. I said, oh, it's about to be a red wave. We taking our masculinity black. We taking our masculinity back. Now, guess what the caveat to this is? Black men, the only thing that's weird about this, and this is how you know most of us is henpecked, black men actually voted at a 78% clip for Kamala Harris. I said, get out of here. Get out of here. It's only 22% of us. It's less than a quarter of us that actually got our balls. We still got our balls. We didn't get our balls clipped.
Also Latino men who, despite the utter disrespect shown by...
Look at that. Look at black men. We the only weak link in this thing. How are we the weak link? Look at that number. Well, at least y'all ain't got to worry about women getting mad at y'all, because now y'all can still be being captive inside of your relationship. Black men, what the hell is going on? What do y'all think? What was y'all thinking? Because see, y'all want to act like Anton is out of his mind. He don't really know. He not really aware. No, I think it was way more black men. The numbers is telling you right now in the exit poll, black men at a 77, 78% rate, and black women at a 91% clip decided that they wanted to vote for Kamala Harris, which roughly equaled somewhere around 85 to 88% of all black people put together, woke up and said, you know what? I'm going to stroll to the polls. What are y'all thinking? What are y'all thinking? Y'all deserve everything that y'all get in y'all neighborhoods. And they shouldn't even try to save y'all. Let's save yourself.
Trump and his promise to deport some of your mixed status families, most of them voted in a 55% majority to make the deportations happen. Y'all voted with Stephen Miller and David Duke and against your own sisters and chose Kamala Harris with 60% of their votes. So you own everything that happens to your mixed status.
Aaron L. says, they blame men, but 10 million more women voted. I don't care. I don't care. All I do is I look at the numbers and I make an assessment. Then that's even worse, because of the men that did vote, of the black men that did vote, 77 to 78% of them actually strolled to the polls. They went in backwards. It's crazy.
Status families, and to your wives, sisters, and abuelas from here on in. However, we only have so much time for blame. We now need to make a plan. Because Donald Trump's spokesperson has already confirmed that upon taking office at noon on January 20, 2025, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, he will begin the mass deportation of up to 11 million immigrants who are living and working in America.
Well, you better hope your clearance is legal.
To put Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in charge of at least parts of our health care, which could deprive millions of Americans of life-saving vaccines. And he and his people will implement Project 2025, something he pretended he didn't know anything about when he was lying to you on the campaign trail.
Trump has never, under any circumstance, ever mentioned being a part of or aligning with Project 2025. This is why these people need to get off of TV. This is why these people need to get off TV, because they are liars. This is why their ratings is plummeting. I expect within the next 2 years, if they don't hold her up as a diversity, equity, and inclusion hire, that Joy Reid will probably be going the way of all the rest of these people and trying to create their own podcast. I think that they are some of the most despicable people on TV, and they often at times try to incite violence and racism, and they're some of the most divisive people that I've ever seen in my entire life. And until we call it out and stop being on code, because she don't know you, she ain't never gonna kick it with you, she don't align with you, we don't even know if her parents came into here legally, they are going to continue to be the most divisive people, and they are the problem, not the solution.
When he wasn't, pretending to fillet a microphone or rambling for hours in front of sparse crowds. Cue the national abortion ban via the Comstock Act as well. And then there are the tariffs, which will make the price of everything soar.
All lies.
While he and Elon Musk grift money out of our economy to share with their fellow billionaire friends, while mainly Gen Z and millennial Americans and retirees feel the pain. So here we are. And what I can tell you is what I plan to do. And what I plan to do is to refuse to take the knee or be silent. Because when an autocracy begins to form, it is really important that the press, to the extent it can, continue to speak, continue to inform people about what is happening, and to give you the means and the strategies to resist and survive. It is important that civil society and the arts continue to speak, that individual citizens remain vigilant and not back down or cower in fear. So that is what I and the team here at The Readout are going to do. We will make sure you stay informed, forewarned, and equipped to survive whatever he and his MAGA cronies try to do to the people in this country.
These people can't get no visibility without the advertisement of MSNBC, and I am going to be elated as we continue to erode their viewership and destroy their platforms by outperforming them, having better narratives, better analysis, covering things objectively, letting you know when we then say it's our opinion versus it's the truth, okay? And we want to make sure that every single day we are going to hold these people accountable for spewing hateful rhetoric on the internet and then still being able to have a job, whereas if it was somebody else of a different color of their skin that was saying the similar thing, then they would be fired immediately and they would be calling for a job. But they allow for this woman to continue to come over here, benefit off of everything that's happening that Americans built for her, and then she's over here trying to incite violence and empty rhetoric that is not going to be beneficial for you or your family or anybody else that follows or watches MSNBC. I will be glad when this network absolutely, positively start cleaning house, because eventually it's going to go the same way as MSNBC. All right, let me go ahead and read some of these super chats, and then we're going to continue over with the show. I can't stand people like that. Jamzy says, Joy Reid was pushing for 11-year-olds to read books about it being an R word or slobbing on knobs. I don't know anything about that, so I can't speak on it, but if it is true, then that's unfortunate. Daniel Joseph says, morning AD, thoughts on going to university to get a degree in engineering for working in tech. I think that everybody should go into cybersecurity. Listen, engineering is cool. It's different types of engineering. I believe that cybersecurity is probably the best bet. Cloud infrastructure, anything around that is better. I would go into that if I was you in 2024. There's nothing wrong with going into a major university, but I think that you should make sure that you get your credits done cheap as possible. And then when you start to go in your field of study, that's when you want to go over to the major university. Fresh Prince says, federal government spent $1 million to see if selfies make you happy and also paid for 12 pride parades outside of the U.S. with taxpayer money. And that's why you need that DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. Wyatt says, so basically AD don't want men with hairy chests putting together a schedule for the week. Got it. I don't care if it's who it is, as long as they do a good job. Well-Building Journey says, thanks to her bleaching her hair, I can't tell where her hairline starts. Still stuck in budget meetings, but dropping this off on a collection plate. Looking forward to the next block club. Shout out to the Well-Building Journey. Flexenio says, Joy Reid act like we give an F about her opinion. Somebody gave her a job. Lamar says, what up, AD? I'm enjoying my day off, enjoying your show live for once, and still getting to this bag. Even at home, you're a great inspiration, big dog. And Stock Club is fire. Keep exposing these clowns. What up to the chasers? Delta Fox then goes on to say, Joy's dream about Kamala had dogs chasing her too. Christopher Chapman says, Joy Reid looks like, oh my God, I can't do it. April, what up, April says, let's be clear, ain't nothing wrong with Dallas, Dynasty, or The Apprentice. Great shows. If you watch, you most likely learn something. I agree. Let me get that big. Anybody seen Molly? Is Molly here today? I haven't seen Molly. Well, Molly got something going on today? Where's Molly? Somebody find out if Molly is in the chat. I ain't seen her today. I need to see what's going on. Anton, they're getting fired. They don't care. Amani says, proud to be a part of the 7%. Let me get a round of applause for the 7%. Talks, what up, 2K? Says, shout out Time Dog and the Chasers. Get them likes up. My dog, 2K, over there cooking. He working. Peace with Miss Tree says, it's me. I'm a part of the 7% and I'm proud. That's why I love you, Miss Trees. Me University says, Harris, small slumped shoulders, forward hips, baseless voice, tight smile, sad-eye crows, and hair texture are clear indicators that she's not. I don't care about that. I don't care where you're from. I just care if you did it legally. They blame, and if you're appreciative. They blame men, but 10 million more women voted. BizQ says there was a movement of black men not voting. They should have showed up and just to vote down ballot in order to show the stats for voter turnout. Yeah, we ain't gonna worry about that. Smoke on the Water says 24% of black men for Trump is the best it's been ever. Nope, not 24%, 22%. Thank you to the Snow Bunnies. Snow Bunnies. Shout out to the Snow Bunnies forever. Snow Bunnies forever. Night Jade says, I left Baltimore because of racism against me and my white husband. They are sparking it again, dissing black women for having white men. And you deserve to have whatever you want because she's your queen to be. How do you have 83 billionaires, of which 2 are centibillionaires, $100 billion plus, in your corner financially, majority of black men and women voted for you when you still lose? And since when Joy Reid is Trump a voting block of women? Y'all see it. Shout out to Chef. I appreciate you for holding me down. Forsaken Archives goes on to say liberal black women are now apologizing to black men because 78% turn rate of the simps on TikTok. Chef 73 also says, for those who missed it, anti-rewind to when Joy was showing the stats on women who voted for Trump, it showed Trump as in the middle of the women's voting block. Fatir Woods says the Liberal Party is like 35-year-old people. They never listen to what the buyers voters in this case say. They want, and then when they fail for not listening, they call them racist and misogynist. France says it's astounding to see the amount of black men that voted for her. One of them was wearing a Kamala wig at Election Day rally. Yeah, y'all remember that? I was showing that. Divine Robertson says, breaking news, Project 2025 has announced an amendment. They will now be banning lace front wigs, baby hairs, and eyelashes from China. Eric Wolf Harris says, Joy Reid needs that Tiege pack. She hate white people, but her hair is blonde. Jay Denoir says, sadly, most black men are weak. They're fatherless baby boys who are afraid to go against their women, mamas, aunties, nanas' wishes. 78% voting. Baby Joker in the building says, I can proudly say my boss still drag the pavement as I walk around. Crazy P. What up, though? Notice you don't see any Indian women crashing out about Kamala losing. Ash, my dog, AD, I hear you, brother. We are part of the 22% of black men who still have the balls. The majority of black men are raised in a matriarchal family. Fatherless homes, boomers, and Gen X are worse. Pam, what up, Pam says, Anton, please come to DFW. You have fans in Texas. I'm always at DFW. I'll be back, though. I'm coming back. Shout out to C. Will. Joy Reid better thank a union member. Thank you, C. Will. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody that contributed to the platform. We got a few more. Look at the Chip Boy Joy Reid, or look at the Chip Joy Reid interview with the head of a Mom for Liberty. Fi Brown, my dog, says, yo, AD, the Rolling Stone article saying Republicans celebrate 2025. They're talking about the Matt Walsh trolling. He said, now that we won, let's focus on Project 2025, but a link, it was a troll. I know when they use any propaganda. My dog, Chris J. I ain't seen you in a while, Chris J. Good morning to the Chasers. Shout out to the 21%. Carla R., my girl, says Democrats were too busy putting on the universal soul circus. Bob Brown says he just bought the domain name project2025.com. When you clicked it, it was a link to watch his new movie, but these journalists are lazy and didn't realize it. Ashley, shout out to Ashley, says, I got that super sticker for you, big dog. Thank you to Ashley. And then Sean, shout out to Sean, says, what's your favorite book of all time? Probably A Random Walk Down Wall Street. So many financial gems from Benjamin Graham in there. But I don't really have a favorite because they all different. They all serve different purposes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Let's continue on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. So continuing on with Joy Reid, she decided to have AOC on in order to explain why her voters also possibly voted for Donald Trump. Check it out.
Of all the confounding results in this past election, perhaps the strangest phenomenon was the surprising number of people who voted for Democrats down ballot and then checked off Donald Trump for president. That was the case in New York's 14th district. A number of voters cast their ballot for both Trump and one of the House's most progressive Democrats, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, better known as AOC. And while the Democratic Party is still reeling from the results, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is doing something a lot of the D.C. folks aren't doing, which is talking to social media and actually talking to voters to figure out why this happened.
If you voted for Donald Trump and me, or if you voted for Donald Trump and voted Democratic down ballot, I would really love to hear from you. This is not a place of judgment. I'm not gonna put your stuff on blast or anything like that or dunk on it. That's genuinely not the intent here. I actually want to learn from you. I want to hear what you were thinking, and I just want to hear from you.
Joining me now is the aforementioned Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. Okay, AOC, what'd they say?
I mean, there's a lot of different things that we saw. I think there's a lot of people. First of all, it's important to note that Democrats, oftentimes when we lose elections, we think that we lost people to Trump. And that is true in circumstances, but they don't look enough at the fact that we also lost people to the couch. Mm-hmm. We have two people that we're running against. So a lot of people say, this is why I voted for you and Trump. And some people say this is why I didn't vote or didn't vote top of the ticket.
Right. Skip the top of the ticket, which, by the way, there's been a lot of paranoia about the fact that Democrats were able to win statewide in some places while Kamala Harris lost. And I keep trying to tell people there are voters who go in and either just vote the top, Trump voters who will say, I just want Trump and don't care about Republicans, and the reverse, who say, I'm not voting top of the ticket, but I'll vote everybody else.
Right.
It's a lot of people that vote Kamala Harris and they just voted down ballot, and most of those people were uninformed voters and they were ignorant, which was one of the reasons that the strategy in the Republican Party and even my strategy to inform people and arm them with the information, because I think that in most instances, once you know better, you do better. In most instances, once you know better, you do better.
Right. And I think we saw some of that happen as well. But when it comes to people who split their ticket, I think a lot of people cited several different things. One is there is universal frustration in this country. Much of it, I actually think, justified. That is raging at a political establishment that centers corporate interests, billionaires, and puts their needs ahead of the needs of working Americans.
Nope. She got it half right. I was about to give AOC credit, but she got it half right. People are mad at the political establishments and the media companies that continue to spew rhetoric while not being informed on what the real issues are with the American people. And it has nothing to do with being mad at billionaires. If that was the case, then Tesla would not have the #1 selling car in the world in the Model Y. If that was the case, Tesla would not have the #1 selling car in the world in the Model Y. People are not mad at billionaires. People tend to not trip when other people get money when they get money. People are mad that you're sitting there lying to their face and trying to push this rhetoric, men and girl sports, using the bathroom that you want, pushing this stuff on kids, gender affirmation and transformation, and then talking about reproductive rights when they broke at home. The thing that Democrats really don't understand, and y'all need to get Republican strategists. If they were smart, usually what you would do is you would go and you would hire people from the other party to start having a conversation with you about where you missed the mark. People don't usually care about what other people are doing or what rhetoric is being spewed to them as long as they remain in privilege. When you get money, people don't trip about who you having sex with. When you get into the bag and you can do what you want to do and you can travel where you want to travel and you can go to the grocery store without necessarily having to check your account balance when you get to the front of the grocery store, they tend to not really care about what women do with their bodies. They just don't even become aware. But when you broke, trust me, I know. When you broke, you start going down rabbit holes and you start researching because you're trying to understand what the hell is going on. You got a lot more time on your hands. You can't go out there and party as much. So now you ending up on the wrong side of YouTube or the wrong side of X or the wrong side of TikTok. And you start to become aware and you start listening a little bit more. You start becoming more informed. And so what people realize is that, listen, you're not going to sit here and smile and keep saying these same canned answers, Kamala Harris, in front of my face. We getting you up out of there. We are getting you. Did you see the people over in Chicago that's advocating for turning Chicago red? They not saying that because they just feel like it or they just woke up one day and wanted to be a part of the political establishment and switch over to being Republican. They're saying it because they're losing their homes. They're saying it because they see migrants coming in and taking over their cities. They're saying it because they see crime rampant in their communities and you're removing ShotSpotter while continuing to fund this migrant crisis to the tune of over $1 billion. When you don't have privilege, you tend to start paying attention to everything else that's going around you because you can't help it. You ain't got nothing better to do. You broke. When you got to go and you got to trade in them Fruit Loops for them Fruity Rings, when you don't got no box for your cereal and your kid is like, oh, mama, I'm hungry. And you got to go and apply for food stamps. You ain't never applied for food stamps. That junk hit your pride, hit your spirit. See, some of these people, they ain't never had to go and ask nobody for nothing. They ain't have to go and move back into their parents' basements. They went up and then they privileged as a result of it. And so they so far removed from it because they don't have the pulse of the American people. But when you ain't helping people, even when you get to a certain level in life, you still have to remain connected. You still got to remain focused. Why? Because you are removed. You do, and your cultural norms and the things that you do on a regular basis, it does not resonate anymore. And you've been desensitized to the things that's happening around you. So the only way that you can stay connected and have a pulse of what's going on in the streets is to participate in the streets. And that's why you have to give back. That's why you got to go do charity work. That's why you got to do give backs online and in person. That's why you got to go and hear people's stories so that you can then help them. That's why you have to have a crew and a community of people that's multicultural and it has all socioeconomic statuses to where you got to always be helping people at the bottom and the top and the middle. And that's how you stay connected, because in honesty, in truth, and people don't care about you having money. They care about you telling the truth. In honesty and in truth, once you get past a certain number per month and you do that and you sustain that for 2 to 3 years, it's over. You will never have the same cultural norms. You will never have the same ideas when it comes to money. You will never see things the same way as everything else unless you stay connected to the culture. And so Democrats don't know this. They think that it really matters about reproductive rights when you broke. It doesn't.
And we know that we can either channel this righteous rage, because there are people whose SNAP was cut off, their child tax credits were cut off, but they're seeing people like Elon Musk getting tax breaks and kissing up to Donald Trump in order to do so.
But they vote for, then why vote for Elon Musk and Donald Trump?
Because she don't know.
And I think that, of course, is the question.
It makes no sense.
They don't know. It don't make sense to y'all because y'all ain't reading the room and you don't know who these voters are. Let me tell you something. You know what the biggest reality check was for me? was going and kicking it with white people. And I'm not talking about middle-class white people. I'm talking about white people on the fringes. Some of y'all ain't even familiar with that part of the internet, let alone real life. You go and kick it with white people in real life, let me tell you something. I was going to look at a property in a neighborhood around where I'll be building properties and stuff like that. And across the street from a property was a guy that I used to play poker with locally, right? And so we used to, they got these local poker halls or whatever. And so, you get with the boys or whatever and y'all play poker and stuff. And so it's from people all in the city and locally and stuff like that. And so y'all get a local game going. The max buy-in is $200 to $300, no limit Texas Hold'em. And I hadn't seen him in a long time. And he recognized me and he said, "Oh man, I remember you. You used to play poker." And I had pulled up in my car, and the car was big. It was a Porsche. It was the Taycan. He was like, "What you doing? I ain't seen you in a while. You ain't playing with the boys, I said, "Y'all still over there playing at 300? And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, all right. I'll have to stop by there one day." I wasn't going. I'm too busy. I wasn't going. And he said, I said, "So how you been doing? How's everything been going?" "Oh, man, it's rough. Laid off. Just trying to figure it out. I was like, trying to figure it out? Yeah, just trying to figure it out. And his home was small. One of the conversations that Rita and I was having was if we can figure out how we can purchase all of the other homes that was around the one that we bought the property to build upon in order to continue to raise the values in the neighborhood. And his was one of the ones that we identified because it was a smaller home that we felt like it would be worth it to go over there and pitch them, wholesale them, ask them if they wanted to sell their home, tear it down, and then build a bigger one and put somebody in it. And so me and my wife as black people are over there gentrifying the neighborhood while taking advantage of this white man who was in his 50s, his late 40s, early 50s, talking about he's struggling. And you know what he had on his lawn? He had a Trump sign. Because he said the last 3.5 years had been the worst of his entire life. And so I didn't want to deep dive too much into it because, it's kind of insensitive to be sitting there in a Porsche buying property and evaluating a neighborhood so you can make sure that you're buying it in the right place, while this 40 to 50-year-old white man is talking about how hard it is and how poor he is and how he ain't got no job and he laid off and he's trying to figure out what to do with his life. That's how you know. That's when it hit me like, you know what? These people are so out of touch, it's crazy. They don't know. They really think that them over here pandering is going to get them to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. So out of touch.
Part of it has to do with the fact that, and I think we're still in a process of going through the data. It's important to say that.
Yes.
And I actually think that it's important to say that the people who are rushing to say, let me give you my grand theory of what's going on right now.
The problem is you went too woke. Sorry, Kamala Harris was running with Liz Cheney at her side. She wasn't going, quote unquote, woke.
If we had an election on November 5th and November 6th, you've got an answer.
Right.
Don't listen to those people.
Meanwhile, AOC got the poorest demographic of people in her particular district that she went in elections in.
Reid.
Do not listen to those people.
Co-sign.
So I want to say that we should all have the humility of saying this is an ongoing learning process. However, there is something to be said about it doesn't matter that he's lying. He's saying that I'm fighting for you. In all of this debate that people are talking about with this woke thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's because we care about trans people, and that's why.
And by the way, only Donald Trump cared about trans people because he was the one running $130 million worth of ads. The Harris campaign said nothing about this issue.
That's right. That's right. And listen, the ads, it's not to even deny the fact that these ads were effective in certain areas. What I think people are paying too much attention to is the first half of that ad, which says Kamala Harris is for they, them. Everyone's focusing on that. They're not focusing on the second half of that ad, where he said, Donald Trump is for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And Democrats very often, in their messaging, they speak in terms and in concepts and not in the second person. I care about you. And political races are not about one candidate versus another candidate. Too often it gets pigeonholed like that. It is a race to convince a person about who cares about you more.
Let me ask you this question, because we've been talking a lot about RFK Jr. My mind is a bit blown. I mean, we knew that Donald.
They're not reading the room, and they just don't understand, and they so disconnected. It's amazing.
Trump would go wild. There's no constraints on him. He could just put all his friends in. But we're talking about RFK Jr. and the possibility of people pulling back on measles vaccines, on another pandemic happening. You're talking about Matt Gaetz. There's a 17-year-old girl out there terrified that all of her records, all of the witnesses against him in this case where she was trafficked could be in the hands of Matt Gaetz, and he could be the most powerful law enforcement official in the country in a case where the president of the United States is an adjudicated sexual abuser. If you're a sexual assault survivor, you're thinking, oh my God, this country is out to get me. They're out to get me and force me to have children by sexual assault. So the message to women has been insane, okay? And the people he's nominating are TV hosts, et cetera. Do you think the people who voted for him that you've talked to were expecting this?
No.
Or true mass deportation?
Genuinely,
yeah.
No. And it's heartbreaking, actually. It is heartbreaking. And people may want to take like a kind of vengeful stance about this, but it is genuinely heartbreaking. People need to understand that there are people, millions of people in this country, and I was one of them, where you are working 2-3 shifts a day to try to make ends meet. You're not reading the newspaper every morning with a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You're not. And it's not to say that people are uneducated or uninformed or anything like that. But like, this is real life. Yeah. This is real life. You got a baby on your hip and you've got 2-3 shifts to work in that day and you're just trying to make things work and you have such an overwhelm of information. And
no, they on TikTok and YouTube. They're watching me.
I actually think something that is different about this moment than I saw, whether it was 2020 or after 2016, is that almost like right the day after, people immediately were coming to me and saying, he's not actually going to do that, right? And it's important to say, people may often say, he said he was going to do this. It was right here on the campaign trail. If you actually listen to him, if you listen to Donald Trump's acceptance speech, when he talked about immigration, he talked about legal pathways first.
Yeah. He didn't say.
These people are so out of touch, and it's amazing. I don't even know how AOC is in office, and I don't know how Joy Reid continue to have a job. It's crazy. Don't even gotta. Let me be quiet. I don't want to throw no ad hominem attacks, but it's amazing how disconnected these women are. Let me read some of these super chats, and we're gonna move over into the next part of the show. I want to talk about FEMA and the black woman that got fired for basically not addressing and not going to places that had Trump signs on it, and she was a FEMA director. Big Dog O-Town says, as an independent black voter, I voted Trump in 2028. I'll vote Republican again, hopefully a future bag chaser. What you saying hopefully for? Get this money. Ashley Perrymon, shout out to you, says, I really enjoy your channel. God bless you. God bless you too, and I thank you for being here. Vaughn says, good morning, AD, late to the show. Joy make me sick. So racist. How is this woman still on? People on TV talking ish think she lost her hairline stressing over Trump. Duran Lee says Joy Reid looked like the henchman from the Oh my God. Bishop says big salute barbershop fam interceding for my brother AD. Shalom, shalom. Future looks bright. Shofars are blasting victory. CEO Tiff got a couple of these super chats. Shout out to you, says chased by dogs. Someone is actually attacking you spiritually. They won't let me send the original message. Okay, Tiff, thank you for letting me know. They can't touch me. I don't think that voters should vote for one party down ballot. One should look at the policies of each of the candidates, their history of the policies, and how the policies have affected the people, show their character. Shout out to you. Fatir Wood says, I sort of hope the Democratic Party keeps up with this tactic of just shaming voters instead of giving voters what they want, because they can't win this way, and we can get America fixed over a few terms. Now you talking. Now you talking. Courtney Egger says, yo, I appreciate your family. I learned a lot on the Patreon. Leveraging my job to invest in my brokerage account, being a dope content creator, and I'm also part of the 21% that voted for Trump. Shout out to the bag chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I'm 55 and widowed, doing my best to stay away from my retirement. Now a bag chaser and the 7%. Thank you, sir. Well, Rashonda, you know I love you, baby. You know I love you, Rashonda. Princess Iman says, I wonder what the stats are for the Amish people. 100% for Trump. Kid Chameleon in the building says they will run AOC in 28, and she will win.